Howdy doody, welcome back to the ranch. My name is Mick. This, my 2003 Dodge Ram pickup. Within this pickup is a Fast and Furious early 2000s aftermarket radio with the quick release function. We're getting rid of this thing. What we're replacing it with, 6x9 head unit with a touchscreen, Bluetooth, Apple CarPlay, Android, whatever you call it, play. And on top of all that, we're going to wire a backup camera in this thing so I can actually see where I'm going. We've got a lot to do, so stick around. Okay, so let's go through a little unboxing here. This here system is from ATOTO. I've got high hopes. It comes from Amazon, so, you know, just your regular ordeal here. But I'm excited for this one, so let's open up the box.
Oh, what's in the box?
First thing I'm seeing is a screen protector. That's nice. I'll definitely throw that in there. Constructions, not much here that I will use, so I'll just throw that to the side. Here's our screen. And then I'm assuming this would be something like wiring. Yeah. Meat and potatoes. Here we go. Ooh. Ah. Yee. This is looking nice. Nice and sleek. Decent sized screen. I can't remember what this is. 5 1/4 by 9-ish. So call it 6x9. I would assume that this is going to fit in the truck pretty well without being overbearing by any means. So other than this, I think it's extra cost for this, but definitely something that for my purposes, this is what I really intend to use this here unit for: bracket and camera. So this is just a license plate mount. I figured that was going to be the easiest thing to do for this here truck. And a nice, seems pretty quality, nice and heavy backup camera. I'm going to do the same thing as I did on my dump truck and wire this into a toggle switch so I can turn this on whenever I want to. You can either do that or you can wire it into your reverse switch. So whenever your truck or car is in reverse, this will flip on. But I would rather use this at my disposal whenever I want to look in my backup camera, even when I'm not in reverse. Toting down the highway or what have you, checking blind spots, this will come in handy. Okay, so the other thing that I'm going to have to do with this truck is convert the dashboard to a double DIN setup. My current dash takes a single DIN radio, which is a lot skinnier. This one is called a double DIN, so it's fatter, basically. Brackets, aftermarket harness to hook to the stock harness, as well as a new dash panel that accepts the double DIN square here. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use this or not, because I already had an aftermarket radio in the truck. It came with the adapter, poorly wired adapter, but adapter nonetheless. So I'm going to see if I can cut out the hole in the truck to accept it. I'll play around with it, because the other thing is the truck has a nice texture to it, and this is just a regular smooth finish, and I'd rather have what came in the truck already. So I'll play around with it, but I figured I would buy this just to be safe, and if I need the parts, then I have them available. But for now, I'm just going to put this back in the packaging and see what I can work out on the inside of the truck. I better get used to that, because I'm going to be getting in and out of this thing like 15,000 times. So here's the idea. This is going to be getting sucked into here. Initial thoughts, it's going to fit very well in this spot. However, I'm not exactly sure how I want to go about fitting this in here. If I just want to, I mean, either way, I guess it doesn't hurt to try to just take this out in order to fit. But I definitely got to start by popping this out of here, which I'm assuming it just pops out. I'm also not very good at assuming things, except the position. Sorry. So basically what I'm saying is I'm going to figure out how all this comes apart. I'll catch you up to speed once I get it. 2 minutes later. That was really easy. It's literally...
What are we?
just one Phillips head screw that hooks in right here in the bottom right corner. Other than that, you just pop it out and then you got 3 plugs that plug in. The rest of this whole dash panel unscrews from the inside, and then you got to take out your radio housing here, which is just another 4 Phillips screws. So let's get this over to the bench and start lining everything up to see if I can make this existing panel work. So here's what we're dealing with here. This is the texture that I was mentioning before. I like the texture. I'm partial to this look over the smooth. Quite frankly, so what comes with this kit is this panel as well as this adapter. However, I don't think I need this because I have the adapter from the other one, and even though it's pretty cobbled together here, I should be able to match up wires from here and how it's labeled to the new one. So I think I should be good here. And then as far as cutting this panel out, I don't think it should be that bad. I think I can kind of line this up where I want it, give her a mark, and take a carbide bit and just kind of ground this out where I need to so it'll slide in nice and snug rather than like a hot dog down a hallway here. So I think I'm going to run with this one. I also have a plan to kind of dress this up a little bit. But for starters, what I think I'm going to do is just kind of line this up where I want it. I want to cheat it as much north as I can because I don't want to interfere with my temperature controls here. However, I do have to keep in mind that I need enough meat up here in order to, you know, not have this be too flimsy or anything. Like, I don't want to dig into the top piece. I'd rather just keep it on this flat. So I'm going to line this up where I want it, give her a mark, and then I'll start cutting. Apparently these aren't removable, so you got to do it this way, which really kind of sucks. So apparently I'll just have to find a new way to attach these. Alright, here's where we're sitting at. This is all cleaned up. So it's a real nice snug fit with a little bit of working in. Just sits real nice in there.
Get in there nice and deep like.
So we have our original dash panel. It's gonna sit in just like that. So obviously with this, how it came, it wasn't supposed to come out anyway, so I think I'll just glue it back in so it's nice and secure. Do like a 2-step epoxy deal so it's nice and solid, and then we'll put this back in. However, what I think I want to do here is change color with this panel. I do have future plans with the interior, so what I'm thinking is, and the main reason why I popped this out, is I'm going to go with this interior plastic color change. It's a nice, like a chestnut brown saddle is what it's called. I actually used this for leather prior to, and I don't have a whole lot left, but I'm hoping it's enough just to get this panel coated. So I'm going to take this back off, clean it up real good, and we'll give it a coat of this and see how it looks. Alright, my dash is still drying, but I'm just mixing up a 2-part epoxy here, and I'm just going to put a little bit at each piece where it connects. That should be good enough to get me where I'm going here. Yeah, that should work out just fine. So we'll let that set up. That should look good. All right, so while that dries, I'm gonna get working on the wiring here. The old harness is obviously a little bit different because this is my plug into the old radio, whereas this one, I'm gonna be using these two. Very convenient. This harness comes wrapped up in notes for what wire is what, so I will use that for reference, but as I'm reading it, I should be showing you. I will use that for reference. However, these also come with little tags on every one. So this red wire, for instance, is accessory and ignition. So I'll be able to match that up to my adapter, wire those together. And I'm just going to do these one at a time. That way I know where everything's going. That's kind of how I handle all wiring projects. I'm not the best at wiring. I just find it so much more simple to do a wire at a time, even if it means, keeping more things separate. To me, it just makes more sense before you take everything apart and you just have spaghetti.
Somebody touch my spaghetti!
Keep as much of the harness together as you can and just replace one wire at a time. Out with this rat's nest, which these connections were expertly put together. Just a little twisty tie and some duct tape. Call it good. I'm going to take this apart one wire by one wire and piece it all back together. I'll be soldering these joints with some heat shrink as the insulation. So let's get to it.
So that's it, the last solar eclipse to be seen on this continent in this century. And as I said, not until August 21st, 2017, will another eclipse be visible from North America. That's 38 years from now. May the shadow of the moon fall on a world at peace.
Had to take a break because we were having the eclipse today. Where I'm at, we were in the totality. So it was pretty much pitch black here and cold. It's very interesting. My lights even flipped on. Animals are freaking out. There's a lot of fireworks going on and stuff. So I'll take a quick break and I'll be back to work. All right, so I'm to the point now where I'm trying to figure out a plan here. And basically with my unit here, I want to be able to flip on a switch for the reverse camera. So in order to do that, I have to wire it up to a switch, and I'm thinking the place that I want the switch to be is up here by my lights. The reason being is there's a little panel here that's blank. I thought about going down here, but I don't want to. I want to be able to see what I'm reaching for, and it's pretty hidden as I'm driving. I'm gonna put them up here, and there's actually space for multiple switches. So I'm a sucker for toggle switches, just the classic toggles. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3 switches here. And the reason for that is because I have a future project coming up where we're gonna need some more switches. So for the reverse camera switch though, we're gonna put that here. So I'm gonna start laying these out, and I basically gotta get, let's see, for 3 switches I need 6 wires running from here down to my dash. So I'm gonna run them in short, and then I'm gonna splice into them from there that way, because I have to have one running all the way back to the rear license plate where the camera is gonna be. So it's just gonna be easier to splice into it later. So I'm just gonna, for now, run 6 wires down. I'm gonna have to take 2 of them over to my dash for the rear view, and then the other 4 are gonna be for future projects. So I'm just gonna leave them here. So I'm gonna lay these out, drill me some holes, and go from there. All right, so that's out. So you can see I already kind of dismantled my door here. That way I can get my wires through and down the dash. It's gonna take some finagling, but it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I am back at it again with the white vans.
Daniel, back at it again with the white vans.
Back at it. Unfortunately lost a ton of time with this whole eclipse thing. I was really looking forward to this day for work, and it didn't quite happen that way. Neighbor's party, and then losing all the sunlight, and blah blah blah, dealing with the animals. Just, you know, didn't work out the way that I wanted it to.
Christmas just doesn't work out for me. Never has.
But anyway, enough complaining. I have this just about set. I got a game plan going. I found some Scotch locks up here, and that's never ideal. So I actually nicked these wires while I was cutting this back so I could fit my switches up, which I can't remember if I showed this or not, but here's how that ended up. Snazzy. Say what you want about toggle switches. It's my preference. Some people think that they look cheesy. I quite like them, so that's just my opinion.
That's my opinion!
So I'm gonna jump up here to these Scotch locks and get these taken care of, because I would rather not burn this truck down. And I'm replacing this, of course, with a just as crappy connection, but not just as crappy. Okay, so that's repaired. I can shove that back up there and be done with that. Now, moving on to wiring, I have, for my reverse camera switch, I have 18 gauge, or no, 20 gauge, and then for my secret future project, I've got some 14 gauge, or no, this is 16, and those are for future, so I'm just throwing them in here while I'm here. But the only one that I'm actually wiring in today is the 20 gauge. 20 gauge. I know that I got some of the same color here. Don't hate me. I'm limited, all right? But the 2 blues are different gauged wire, so you can tell they're different by the way that they are. So with the toggle switches, these just go on these little connections, little circles. So I'm gonna get these in here like this so I can hook them to my toggle switches, button this up, and move on. A squirrel just ran up to my truck, looked at me,
and I look at him,
and he said, "See you later," and ran away. If you missed the commentary, I'm not sure how you did. We were literally talking to each other.
What are we?
It was a moment. I'm one with nature today. There you have it. It's not even red, white, and blue. For whatever reason, that just popped into my head. Maybe I'm going crazy at this point. You think I'm psycho, don't you, mama? Probably should have strung these through first. But that's okay, you know. No big deal. Nice. Okay. All of the time-consuming, difficult wire routing the way that I want it is all done up here, unless I screwed something up. So battery's hooked back in. It's time for our initial test. So I got my unit here. I'm going to do the first plug in the back, and we're just going to see if with the key that flips that on. If it doesn't, I did something seriously wrong. Seriously wrong might be, what did I screw up? Okay, I don't think I plugged it in far enough because I pushed on it again and it clicked. So let's see if that did it. There we go. All right, we got power. All right, initial impression, nice and clear. I don't want to take the protective film off yet because I still have work to do here, but I just wanted to make sure that this would power on. I also want to make sure that my Bluetooth will connect. Well, let's see if I can't go into settings, device, Bluetooth, pair new device. This is all self-explanatory, obviously. You could do this on your own time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and look for this. ATOTO, that would be the one. Simple enough, I'm connected. I am turning the touch sound off because I don't really like that much. If you're the type of person that wants a touch sound, you can, but even like phone touch sound, like the keyboard clicking, I can't stand that. I hate it when people do that. Inconsider that.
Oh, I can't stand people who are not considered it. You are not considered it at all. Shoot!
If you ever wanted to know what it's like being with me in a jazz club, there you go. Now you know. If you're wondering, that song's by Gertie Beats, friend of mine. Look him up if you like his beats, his music. Willing to promote him anytime I can. So, plus I could actually play his music on here without getting copyrighted. So, all right, that sounds good. My speakers are working. So, all in all, I would say this test is good. Let's move on to mounting this thing in before it gets too dark. Now, this is a little fresh still, so I don't want to go wild and crazy. This is going to look nice, by the way. I like that brown. Again, I know it doesn't make much sense now, but it will later. There we go. Strange that there's one Phillips head screw for this whole thing. Now this fits really snug, so for now I'm just going to see how it flies, just shoving this in and letting it be. Oh, that fits in there perfect. Look at it. Would you just look at it?
Hey, would you look at this?
That is going to be good. Yeah, all right. As you can tell by my face, I've already been working today. I've been under the truck. Main reason being I didn't really think there was a reason to take you through routing the wiring for the backup camera, but I will fill you in. I actually quite like this license plate mount. I think this puts it in a great little spot. I'll adjust it later, but I'll be able to see my trailer hitch here, which will help in backing up the truck, as well as just in general give me a good view, nice and centered. It did come with a mount like the other backup camera that I've put in before. It's basically just like on a swivel, and you can mount it wherever you want. In the future, if I decide to put a camera on the front of the truck, I can do something like that and put it in a more of a hidden spot. But I don't mind it right there. I think it fits just fine. From there, I shoved the wiring back, and you can see that pink wire here. That is my power wire that's going to send the signal, and I routed that along the stock loom. And I do say along because only a psychopath would take the time to put it through the loom. Zip tied it all nice and tight and secure. Here's what I got in here. This is the seat that you could flip up, and there's storage in here. And under this carpet, yeah, there's a little grommet that I can shove wires through. So through there, and then there's another hole through here. So there are the 2 wires there. You can kind of see them, along with some speaker wire and stuff. But that then runs under the carpet up to my front, and under the carpet some more. And here is the wire right here popping through. These are my future wires for the future project. I just trimmed the ends of the wires that get power, so I know how they are allocated for those 3 switches. And that is all there is to that. So I plugged it in. We should be good to go. So I'm gonna hook my battery back up and fire the screen back up. I almost called it a TV. Fire the screen up and see if we can flip on that switch for the backup camera. And I forgot, last step, so it doesn't show up blue and hazy. Nice.
Nice.
All right, so I'm on my home screen. Let's see what happens when I flip my camera switch. There it is, bright and clear. All right. I love it when wiring works out first try too, because it doesn't always. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and play around on this thing and see what all I can pull up. Basically, first impressions as I'm looking at this for the first time in daylight, it's very responsive. You click a button and it immediately comes up, which is great. I think, I wouldn't fault an aftermarket thing like this for being a little bit slow to touch, but surprisingly quick, surprisingly responsive. I have no idea what half of these buttons do. I'm sure you can kind of customize this how you please. Also gives you a little indication of phone battery status and Bluetooth connectivity, volume control. Very nice. Other than that, I'm going to play around with this thing, go in my settings and set it up how I want to. But all in all, pretty simple, pretty self-explanatory, which with something like this is exactly what you want. So 10 out of 10. Hey, Mick from the future here. Just playing around with this thing, getting acclimated and everything. And I figured out a pretty cool feature that is worth noting for the video. You can change your wallpaper background on this, as well as like the widgets that I was mentioning before. You can place those wherever you want, just like your phone. So I have date and time and then music as the main 2. And I set a standard background just because I learned that you could change it. However, what I'm going to do, because I'm egotistical, I might just have to throw up a little Nock Ranch logo on there and have that as my background. I think that would be pretty cool. So very impressive. I really like the fact that you could do that, customize it, make it your own. That is a huge, huge plus in my book. Also, don't know how I forgot to do this. Sigh of relief. That was satisfying. So there you have it, my quasi-comprehensive install and review of the ATOTO 9-inch touchscreen CarPlay, Android Play, car audio system. You could tell how technologically advanced I am. And I do want to extend a thank you out to the folks at ATOTO, because full transparency, they did actually send me the touchscreen system as well as the backup camera for me to test out for free, which was very nice of them. I really appreciate that. I had full intention of putting a system like this in the truck. This isn't a filler video where I'm just trying to show something that isn't necessary. That is exactly what I was looking for, and I'm super grateful that they were able to send that out to me. However, they're not paying me for this, so this is an honest review. I would tell you if I didn't like it or if I did, and I do. I think this is exactly what I was looking for, fully suits my needs. Backup camera is super crisp and clear. Like I said, you can, I think the intention with those is to wire it into your reverse lamp so it clicks on when you are in reverse. However, I much prefer having a switch. So however you want to do it, I hope this video helped somebody out there that wants to do something like this. Systems like these are totally universal. You could put them in dang near anything. So whether it's a Dodge pickup or a Honda Civic, it should be about the same process. So with that being said, I hope this helps somebody out there. I'm going to be putting this to mad use. I'm super happy to have that old radio player out of there and just have a solid Bluetooth system that I could plug my phone into to charge and the whole nine. So excited for this. Thank you again to ATOTO for shipping that out to me. Really appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to check that product out, it is on Amazon. They did give me a discount code to share with you. So if you're looking for something like this and you want to use the discount code, feel free. So do with that information what you will. Thank you all for following along. I really appreciate the support. All of my returning subscribers, thank you. All the people that are always commenting. I read all the comments. I really appreciate it, each and every one of you. Thank you for following along. If you like the video, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can find me on the Instagram, the TikTokies, and Facebook. I think that's everything. So until the next project, I'll see you all then. But always remember, don't be afraid to grab that wrench, get after it yourself. See you next time.